Start of this mesocycle, we looked at how we wanted to pass into positions we would choke them out. We showed you how to knee slice into head and arm choke. Let's just recap on that. So I created the space, stepped into headquarters, started using hip and lever by pinning Carl's right knee to the mat. If he knows jiu-jitsu, he brings in a knee shield, frames, and then from there we looked about how we could look for the katagatami, the head and arm, whereby I'd make a grip, push this out of the way and drop my hand into that space. And from that position, we framed and dropped straight into our katagatami. From there, we looked about turning our knee and trying to come across, and then turning our hip and finishing from there. That's one option. Another option is, especially if Carl stays on his right side and is playing that knee shield game, is the Darces there. Okay, so let's take a look at that. So, I create the space, step into headquarters, and I want to make sure that my foot is past his hip. Pin the hip, pin the knee. I don't want Carl moving in two directions, so I just cut across. He brings in the knee shield, and now he's framing. If I look for the Darce, I don't need to remove the knee shield. I'm just starting to put weight on him. So more than likely, Carl's going to have that frame to switch positions. So once he starts knee slicing here and starts to put pressure on me, I'm making my knee come to the inside, or sorry, my elbow. So anytime he puts weight and pressure on me, I've made a frame. Just sit up 1 second there, bro. See the way my elbow is on the inside of my knee? And if he drives into me, my frame is across his throat, which is uncomfortable for him. This makes a wedge so that basically I can take Carl's weight and not feel that I'm having to use strength to keep him off. So once I use hip and lever and my knee's coming in and he's framing and I'm getting close, so I've got this wedge in my throat here. So the first thing is I'm going to pin it with my chin, and then I'm just going to turn my head so it's not into my throat. I want to try and get my armpit over the shoulder. Once I have that, I don't need to worry about the knee when I'm going for the Darce. Right hand is just going to come under, and I thread this through and I make a grip on the back of his head. Once I'm here, we don't go for the bolt cutter when we're passing. I'm just going to bring my elbow into the back of his head and start to make that wedge. Notice the way Carl still has me in sort of half guard, but anytime I start to put pressure on him here, I can just turn my hip and move into the Darce. Now sometimes Carl's arm will go a little bit further, so from there I just have to feed it back. Elbow comes in, make the grip, make the connection. Notice the way he's on his side. When we learnt this, we were doing it from the front headlock position. It's easier to Darce someone when they're on their side. It just, you just go straight into that position. So if Carl's playing like a sit-up guard, level change, get him flat on his back, create the space, step in, making sure that my foot goes deep. If I'm hanging around here in headquarters, he's starting to play us with the game. So I step in. And now I don't want him to be able to hip escape to two sides. So I just pin a knee to the mat and move into the knee slice. Notice the way I've already got this elbow tucked, but say I messed up. He brings in the knee shield, and now he's framing. I'm putting weight on him. If you have a big pointy chin, this is your move. So I'm just gonna pin his wedge with my chin, turn away, so it's not driving into my throat. Notice the way my right hand starts coming under his left armpit, thumb up, and I reach through and I just make that grip on the back of his head. Once I'm there, I can continue the knee slide, and now I just get my elbow under the back of his head and make that connection and I'm in. Sometimes you'll finish it with your knee still in here. It's not really important. If you can, free it and turn the corner. So, get him flat on his back, create the space, step into headquarters, hip and lever. Carl makes those wedges. So first thing we're thinking about is pinning this. The other thing I'm thinking about is Carl doesn't want me putting my knee on the mat. He'll be looking to make a wedge. So sometimes I might pluck that and I want to drive it to the mat because I need base. Anytime this knee's floating around, So once car cut crosses, yep. See the way I've brought my arm underneath this? Anytime car gets his knee to the mat, that's bad for me. So I'll be leg pressing and kind of here. Another thing I could be thinking about is I can knee him in the butt and turn to face him. So getting that knee off the mat from car's perspective is a big thing, but also from my perspective, I want some kind of stability and base. So once I step in, I start working the cut cross pass. My knee's here, I'm framing. As this hand comes through and I'm distracting him, I might, and he's his elbow tucked there, I'll probably pull that through. So I may knee to the mat. And now it's just about bringing this in, making that grip. If this is floating around here, I'll just be pulling that back as I get my elbow into the back of his head. And I'm making him be like a ball. He wants posture, straight spine alignment. I want him pulled in the elbow comes in and find the hand. And now from there, it's just about getting my shoulder over his shoulder and just putting it. So like I said,